gone to fraud action, I've gone to trading standards, I've gone to the property ombudsman, I've gone to the lawyers. I just can't believe that the police can't arrest him and either recover some of the money or put him in jail.
Margaret hired a letting agent, Olatunde Afilika, otherwise known as Carl, to manage her 2 rental properties. Despite the tenants paying the rent in full to the agent, Carl has repeatedly missed payments and underpaid Margaret. He now owes her over £20,000.
It's very upsetting. It's an awful lot of money to have lost. I work really hard, so nobody wants to lose those kinds of sums of money.
Carl denies owing Margaret any money.
I have asked for bank receipts to show that the money has been paid into my bank. He's refused to give them. In fact, he's refused to correspond with me completely, really.
Sent all the paperwork in.
In desperation, Margaret has called Paul Champlina of Landlord Action for help.
He's denied it all along. You either owe the money or you don't owe the money.
Today, Margaret and Paul are meeting in the Oxfordshire town of Bicester, where the letting agency is based. Margaret has even reported Carl to the police, but so far, no action has been taken.
Just sheer frustration and disbelief that he can continue to trade. So, yeah, really, really bugs you after a while.
Paul has advised her to take the battle directly to the letting agent. Margaret wants to shame Carl and his company, Christopher Stanley Limited, into handing over her money.
So I am going to feel like a complete and utter idiot walking up and down the high street in this, but hopefully it'll get me noticed.
There's a lot of effort gone into that. I'll tell you what, you're multi-talented.
What's happening?
He's a letting agent. He's been taking rent and not paying it to me.
Get him out here, we want to speak to him.
He's been collecting rent from my tenants and not paid it over a year and a half. He now owes me £20,000.
That's totally unacceptable.
Mind yourself, because your sandwich board doesn't want to be flattened.
Paul and Margaret aren't just here to name and shame the agent. They also want to hand him a legal letter demanding he pays the 20 grand within 7 days. If he doesn't, she may have to take his company to court.
We're going to go and serve the letter. Hopefully he's going to be in the office. The 7-day letter will tell him that he's got to pay you the debt. If he doesn't pay you the debt, then we're going to have to look at obviously issuing court proceedings. It's locked. Yeah. Yeah. Hi. Hi, Carl. Yeah, hi. I'm Paul from Landlord Action. Right. I've got a legal letter for Margaret. Okay, right. Because she says you owe her £20,000. There's a 7-day legal letter. Okay, that's fine. Okay, can we have a chat? He's going upstairs, unfortunately. Okay. So, he's not going to let us speak to him. He wouldn't open the door. It's a shame. Well, I think he's gone upstairs, so...
It definitely says open, but I don't think he's going to come out to play somehow. I just really want to tell him how much this has ruined my life. He's forcing me to take all this action. This is not something I would normally do in everyday life.
As well as being financially stung by Carl's company, Margaret is also unwittingly breaking the law.
At the moment, you're liable for the deposits. He's holding the deposits.
Am I?
You are liable for the deposits. So basically...
Even though I've never received them?
No, because he was your agent acting on your behalf.
Yeah.
As Margaret is discovering, the rules on holding tenants' deposits are strict, and it's the landlord, not the agent, who is ultimately responsible.
Because he didn't register the deposits in the deposit scheme, the tenant can make a claim against you for up to 3 times plus the deposit in compensation. Okay?
Wow. But that's terrible.
It's like a bit of a double whammy, I know.
Yeah, I'm not going to sleep very well tonight, am I? Carl has ignored, surprisingly or not surprisingly, the 7-day letter that we've sent him. So I think that I'm just going to have to pursue every single method that I've got available to me and keep the pressure on.
Now, in a last-ditch attempt to get her money, Margaret is heading back to Bicester, this time alone.
Someone's in there, so we might be able to get in there, actually.
She plans to confront Carl face to face.
Yeah.
Carl,
Yes, I'm just in a meeting at the moment. Can I finish off here?
Yeah, well, I'd still like to have a chat to you, yeah. Carry on finishing?
Yeah. Yeah. That's fine. Well, okay, well, yeah, we can
Yeah, we'll
speak
stand
later.
outside.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Yeah.
Carl, why are you ignoring me? Why are you not paying me my rent that I'm owed?
I'm not ignoring you. I sent you an email this morning
Yes, but that doesn't respond to the 7-day legal letter, does it?
with
It does
7-day legal letter.
But it was served to you on film
Right,
last week
right.
with my lawyer.
Yes.
So, you saying you haven't received a 7-day letter?
I'm not saying I haven't received it. I've received the letter.
Yeah.
But, like I said, I've responded to you. I sent you an email this morning. And that's what I have to say in the email.
Well, but you're not paying me any of the rent that you owe me, are you?
What rent do I owe you?
Or
I sent in the letter where
I've
I sent you the
Carl,
letter where I'm not going to argue about it. I sent you the letter where I owe you.
I've sent you my bank statements showing every single
Right.
rent
And
that
I've
hasn't
gone
gone in,
through- and I've
and
gone
it's
through-
now £20,000.
And I've gone through
And
my,
you've told Trading Standards that you only owe me 1 month's rent,
which is what I owe, yes.
and you've given no proof. If you say you've paid the rent, why aren't you sending me any proof? Why
Well,
are you just ignoring all of my...
I'm not ignoring anything.
You've got a legal letter. Why are
Right.
you ignoring it? It was gave
Well,
you
if
7
you-
days to pay
yeah,
or provide
if
the
you don't-
information.
You know, you don't send me 7 days letter and put me under pressure in that way. I will send the
I've
stuff.
been after
as
this
soon as
rent for 6, 7,
as soon as I
8
get this
months
stuff sorted
now.
out-
I've been after rent for 8
Right.
months now.
As soon as I get this stuff sorted out, I will send it over to you. As soon as I
You
can.
can't legally keep my money that
Well,
you
it's not, I
owe me.
haven't got any money for you, Margaret. As
You
far as I'm
have.
concerned.
You've collected rent from everybody and you haven't
I'm
paid
not
me.
going to argue with you about it. I'm going to argue with you
How
about
do you-
it, yes?
you
If you think you have this evidence, you take it to court.
I have.
Well,
right,
fine,
but, so
fine.
you're going to make me go to court.
Right, it's up
You're
to
going
you.
to make me pursue this through the police,
It's up to you.
through Trading Standards
It's up
and
to
through
you.
the
I've
courts.
already spoken to the police and I've spoken to Trading Standards.
Yes,
already.
and they have the proof
Right.
as well, and they're
Okay,
going
that's
to
fine.
pursue it.
Okay, that's fine. Let them pursue it. Let them pursue it.
But you owe me the rent.
But we're going around in circles here. You're not going to put me under pressure.
You haven't gone through
I will
the
go through
information.
it, and but when I find the information,
When
if
will
I
you
owe
go
you,
through
if I owe
it?
you, but as soon as I got time. got
When will you
information.
have time?
In the next month or so.
In
we'll
the
have time.
next month
Yeah.
or so. What's your term?
Okay, that's the end of it. We leave it there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You just want to scream, but what can you do? Short of getting physical and, you know, doing all the legal process, it's just really, really frustrating. I'm banging my head against a brick wall, and he knows he owes the money. He's just not going to check it, and he's going to take it all the way to court, and then he's still not going to pay it. So what does somebody do? I mean, it's just infuriating.
Yeah, hi, is that Carl? Hi, Carl. My name is Paul from Landlord Action. I'm calling up on behalf of Margaret. Got a whole load of money's outstanding for both properties. I want to see if we can put this to bed. But obviously, as far as you're concerned, you've put this to bed because you're saying you don't owe another penny. Is that correct? You obviously saw the legal letter. We sent a statement with that letter. So if you denied it, you should have come back and said, no, I don't agree with that because I paid. You can't say you don't owe the money if you don't come back with proof without any statements, because obviously anyone can say that. He's out of business, he's not working here.
It's time to break the news to Margaret.
I'm sorry to give you this doom and gloom news. I wish I had something a bit more positive, but he's definitely out of business here. It was
expected, to be honest.
It was a bit of a...
And predicted.
it was a bit of a long shot, you know.
I did manage to get the deposits back off Carl, and I think one further rent was paid.
She's also got her tenants back and is once again earning an income from her 2 properties. Margaret is still fighting for her money and is determined not to give up. In response to the allegations, Carla Filiker of Christopher Stanley Limited claims he's given Margaret all rental statements and cannot find any outstanding money owed. Despite evidence to the contrary, he claims he did register the tenants' deposits and has now transferred them to Margaret's accounts.